Welcome back, everybody. Today, Nicole and I are bringing you guys along to a very special meal here over at the Atlantic restaurant in Epic Universe. Now, this is one of the 2 sit-down full-service meal options that you have in Epic Universe. The other one being the Blue Dragon Pan-Asian restaurant, which we have already reviewed. If you haven't yet, feel free to check that one out. But today, we are finishing up the other side of that with Atlantic. Now, I have been inside. It is beautiful in there, but I have tried no options from there. No food, no drinks, anything. So today, we are trying it out, giving you a full in-depth review. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let's go get checked in. Now, I have been looking forward to this meal for a while. Since they made all of the announcements of all the food options and everything, they had some really fun looking stuff over here. And again, it's beautiful. The views inside look insane. I cannot wait for you guys to experience this with us. Are you looking forward to Atlantic, Nicole?
I am. I haven't even looked at the menu yet, besides like what's been out here rotating.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what there is besides like oysters and dessert.
It's surf and turf. That's kind of the cuisine. Oh, I'm so excited. Even look at the outside exterior here. I love this. It's kind of like this, like, it's maybe tempered glass kind of feel. And you have like the little like bits around it, you know, like little pearls and like the shiny things there. But even the outside just looks beautiful, and you can see it from all over Celestial. So let's go get checked in again. Right now is our callback time. Oh, it looks so good in here. And the AC is going. You haven't been inside, right, yet?
No, I haven't.
Isn't it crazy in here? Oh, it looks awesome. There's some fun little details I'll show you really quick right over here. It is beautiful. I know, it's crazy how nice it is. But right here, I pointed this out before in our Celestial Park video, but this is the project number for Epic Universe. And right there is the building number for Atlantic. And then that is Atlantic 2025, which is pretty cool. So a fun little Easter egg when you go ahead and get checked in here. Just so many beautiful pieces in here. Again, the giant seahorses that line the staircase here. And if you look over the staircase, you'll actually notice up top, see how it almost looks like sand? And then as you go down, it's gonna kind of turn into water as you go further down underneath. The fish do move, isn't that crazy? Yeah, so when I came in here before, they weren't moving, but I think now after opening, they've turned on so you can see them moving here along the track. It's just beautiful. And the views, again, like looking out. I mean, we're gonna definitely have to come do dinner at some point too, but I mean, I don't know another restaurant that beats these views. I really don't. Look how beautiful it is. Again, so now it looks like we are more under the sea here in the water. You have like the mermaids there. Oh my gosh, it's just beautiful. You see Stardust going out there, the fountains, Helios, carousel right here. I love it. Also, I think we have mermaids or fish, whatever we want to consider it's here on our silverware. That is amazing. Look at this one too. That's crazy. I know it's so simple, but it's the little details that really bring places together. All right, let's take a look at the menu here. It's so bright, but it's crazy because you can also see like the spire from Burke and like the windmill out there, which is just awesome. But yeah, what did we end up ordering, Nicole?
So we ended up getting the grilled salmon with like a chili butter on it, and we got it a little well done because Dylan and I do not like super pink salmon. And then we also got the filet mignon. Ooh. And we got a mocktail, kind of like a Moscow Mule, with like an orangey flavored drink to it. So we'll see how that is.
It's also crazy that you can see Helios like right there. I think we're gonna come back for a drink tonight and maybe watch the show. They did tell us actually that upstairs at the bar, it's one of the best spots to watch the show as you kind of like look over the ledge right there and then look out into the park, because actually all of the fountains here and everything interact. It's not just the main fountain over in front of Helios. So all of this will be interacting tonight. So we just got our drink, which I'll show you in a second. But look at this. You have Atlantic Celestial Park napkins. That's awesome. So this is the Arancetta Mule, which has San Pellegrino Arancetta and Gosling's Stormy Ginger Beer with lime juice, filthy black cherry syrup, topped with an orange wheel and a black cherry. So there's our orange, our black cherry, and then you get a little fish here on this little skewer. That is awesome. All right, go ahead and try it out, Nicole. I think probably mules are one of my favorite like alcoholic drinks.
Yeah.
When I do end up drinking alcohol, it's one of the things I do enjoy, but this is a mocktail mule, so hopefully it's pretty good too.
That's not bad. It's very like light flavored because I think like the I don't know how to say it, so I'm trying to like avoid it. What is it called? The
Arancetta.
Arancetta. I think it's almost like a flavored like sparkling like juice water, so it's not overly flavored, but you get a lot of like the ginger, but then you get like a nice little burst of orange, but then like something almost seems like a little cinnamony to me, which is like interesting. So you'll have to give it a sip and see what your flavors are coming through.
All right, I'm gonna try it out. Didn't seem like you loved it. Oh, it's good. It's basically, it's definitely reminiscent of a non-alcoholic mule through and through, but it's got a little bit more of like the sweetness and citrusy elements than just like a straight up mule, because mules are pretty bland as far as like the extra flavors, but it's very light and refreshing. It's like, imagine you wanted to drink like a mule out in like the hot sun. I feel like that'd be a good choice. Obviously, you know, if you wanted alcohol, you can add it also to that. I like that a lot, actually. It's not like the craziest thing I've ever had, but I do like the flavors. And like I said, it's really refreshing for a mule. And again, it's more like citrusy flavors versus just like kind of those bland flavors that you typically get.
So the first thing that we have is the grilled Atlantic salmon with roasted fingerling potatoes, a corn succotash, and tomato chili butter.
We also got the Atlantic filet mignon, which is 6-ounce premium Angus beef, crispy potato mille-feuille, truffle cream, Atlantic steak sauce, and a watercress salad. That is 47 layers of potato there, by the way. All right, so just tried the steak with and without the sauce. So the sauce is like I think it's a wine sauce of sorts. You can definitely taste how potent it is. Very good. I think the steak itself is well cooked. I like it. I think it's got good flavor to it. I would say it is probably a traditional kind of like nice steakhouse steak. I think we have tried so many steaks around Orlando, and I feel like it's pretty much on par with a lot of those. I think our favorite restaurant ever for steak is the Bull and Bear, but it is expensive. So I feel like this is pretty on par as far as pricing goes, and then like the quality of the steak. So a nice char on there. Like I said, it's right up there with all the other steakhouses you're gonna find around. And it's pretty solid. The sauce is really potent, full of flavor. So if you guys like that flavor, you're gonna love it. But if you don't love that flavor, you might wanna be careful because it is very, very potent there. Let me tell you something that's a sleeper hit already though. This potato milk, well, I don't remember how I pronounced it, but yeah, the mille-feuille. This is super good. 47 layers. It tastes kind of like a really fancy version of like hash browns and like homemade chips, I guess. Really, really good. I like this. I would get this as like a side on like everything I ordered. Wow.
That's real good. That is very, very good. It's cooked well. It has so much flavor. And there's like a nice like butteriness to the top. This is absolutely delicious, the salmon.
Let's try the salmon out. You liked it a lot. Got high hopes. Ooh. That's really well cooked too. There's a little bit of like a charry crust to it. Lots of flavor. That is good. And I think you guys know by this point, we talk all the time how we like to do blackened salmon. This is not a blackened, but it is very good. That is delicious. So definitely can recommend it. And I think it's pretty on par for salmon, maybe a little expensive. I think it was like $37 for the salmon. So I feel like when you're getting salmon at like nicer restaurants and things like that, I feel like it's typically like mid to upper 20s to sometimes lower 30s. So I would say you have like the theme park inflation pricing, but I would say this is really, really good. Again, the steak is still very good, but I would say like if you're looking for like that unique, really nice experience, the salmon I think is gonna like elevate it. I mean, that's probably like potentially a top 3 salmon that I've had at a restaurant, so I would say that's really good. Again, steak to me, it's so hard because when you have meat, it's all kind of the same at some point. We have steak all the time. We get steak at restaurants all the time, and you start to realize they all kind of taste the same unless you put some seasoning. So I would say like what always differentiates steak is number one, how they cook it, and then also like any sauces or things that they do. So the sauce there does help out a lot to make it kind of different than other things. But as far as the salmon goes, I would say this is like a different flavored salmon than other salmons that we've bought. And I would say like this is a unique experience versus the steak is a good experience, but it's not necessarily unique, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard to cut the potatoes here, but there's also a truffle sauce on there. Superb flavor on that truffle sauce. It's like a nice truffle flavor, but not like overbearing, but it really complements the potatoes. I love it. This is great.
For dessert, we have the Landlubbers Snickerdoodle Loot, which is a Snickerdoodle cake, cookie butter ganache, and Biscoff sand, which is probably the most perfect dessert for Dylan that I've ever seen in the world.
She is not wrong. I love a Snickerdoodle, like Biscoff. Like, oh, I hope this is so good. Yeah, I know, it's just, oh, okay. We're gonna dig in. I think this is the best presentation for dessert I've ever seen. You have like the little shovel with the sand. You get your little sand bucket. This is what the actual cake comes in. You get the little fish over here, a little white chocolate starfish. Oh, I hope this is good. Nicole wants me to use the shovel here, so I'm using a shovel. I don't know how far down I have to go. I don't think I got much cake there. That looks like all crumble. Hold on, I gotta, oh, I'm spilling. All right, I got a little bit more cake and stuff in there. Tastes like cookie butter. That's very good. I mean, I think I'm just having cookie butter and like Biscoff crumbles, but it's delicious. I mean, it's kind of basic, I guess, but like, probably should have ordered 2 of them. That's really good.
That is very good. Very sandy. Very good, though. I'm trying to get a little less sand in this bite. The cake is really good. Yeah. You have to use a spoon to get down there. The shovel can't dig very deep.
Can you tell that we didn't like it? As we have scraps left. The white chocolate starfish was really white chocolatey, Nicole said. I am sweeted out. I am done. Great dinner, by the way. Or I guess this was a lunch, really. Jeez, we had a lot for lunch here. But total price was $100 even before tax. After tax, $106. After our AP discount, which we have the highest tier again, so we have best discount, it came down to $90. So we saved about 16 bucks on dinner, which I think is actually really nice. So 90 bucks for 2 basically dinners, pretty much, a dessert, and then the mocktail. So definitely a little bit pricier. So the steak was 41, which I feel like for a filet isn't horrible for 8 ounces. But for 6 ounces, I do think is a little pricey. Again, we're looking at that inflation that you're getting in the theme park, unfortunately. And then the salmon, I would say, is kind of same thing. I think it was like $36, $37 there when you look at kind of the portion size to the amount. I still do think a little bit more would have been nice, or again, a little cheaper one way versus the other. I feel like the mocktail, pretty appropriate, I would say, for mocktails we've seen around the parks, but again, a little expensive there. Dessert being at 12 is pretty comparable to things you're gonna find outside of the park for desserts, I would say. You tend to find anywhere from $8 to about $15, depending on types of desserts. So again, a little bit more expensive overall, but again, the food was very good. We'll kind of wrap up here, do our final thoughts outside, and then kind of continue on with our day here. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed so far the review of Atlantic. Again, I love these stairs, just like the theming here. It's all just so nice. I love the view. I cannot wait. Like I said, we might be coming back for a drink tonight around 9 to 9:30. Come check it out. Maybe we'll come for the final show tonight, but just looks so beautiful out there. Yeah, I think if you were to sit like at this table over here, or one of the tables next to us here, you can look straight out and look out this direction or that direction and kind of see all the lights and everything going. I think that would be pretty cool. And then you're gonna see all the fish here too. And remember how I was pointing out that it's like we're in the sand up here. You can have little things like, again, starfish maybe, or like seashells. Also, if you guys cannot use stairs, which again will take you down, they do have elevators here to take you downstairs. So you guys can get down either way. That's a big thing about Epic, is anywhere there are stairs, there are elevators too. Alrighty, we are outside of Atlantic. So, final review. Again, definitely a pricier option here at Epic. There are other things around the park that I do feel like are a little bit more appropriately priced. In general, Epic is a little bit more expensive than some of your other theme park options. However, Nicole did remind me, I did pay $9.50 for a hot dog over at Universal Studios, so maybe it's not that much more expensive. But in general, I would say Epic is kind of a little bit more expensive, but Atlantic here was very good. Now again, that steak I think was a great steak, but was it anything that stood out? Not necessarily. I just think like it tastes like your typical steakhouse steak. So if you're looking for that typical steak, yeah, it's gonna hit that note. I would say also 6 ounces does feel a little small for $41. I would expect it to be a little bit closer to 8 ounces for that price. You know, maybe you're on like $42 for 8 ounces, kind of seems pretty appropriate. I do think 41 for 6 ounces does seem a little expensive. I feel like you can tend to find like for 6 ounces, mid to upper 30s. So I do think that was a little bit too pricey for what it was. But again, very good. I thought the sauce was really good. And those potatoes, some of my favorite sides I've like ever had with that. That was really, really good. However, that salmon, completely unique to Atlantic. It wasn't like another salmon flavor that we've had before. Again, we tend to do blackened salmon.
Yeah.
So I would say like for a salmon dish, that was really good. And I do think my guess would be that a lot of the seafood dishes here at Atlantic are going to shine. And so I would recommend doing seafood here. Obviously that's kind of the theme, but it is kind of a surf and turf style. So I would say stick to the surf here. If you want more unique flavors, go to turf if you're looking for kind of a typical steakhouse option. And again, I'm not saying anything was bad by any means. I thought it was very good. But again, when it comes to steak, just to me, I think like they're all kind of the same. I like to season up my steaks, and people probably would give me a lot of hate for that. I put a bunch of seasoning on it. That's how I prefer my steak. So when, you know, you just have really cooked meat and that's kind of it, I'm like, yeah, right, it's good, but like I like to really season it up, and that's just my preference. So again, highly, highly, highly recommend coming over here to Atlantic, especially for the seafood. And if you want, again, that steakhouse style steak, definitely pick that up as well. Now, when it comes to the dessert, that was amazing. I loved it. I loved the cookie butter. I loved all the flavors, the Biscoff. It was really fun to eat as well. I think that was really good. And honestly, I feel like 12 bucks wasn't horrible for that dessert. Compared to some other desserts that you might get around here specifically too, I do think that that's actually pretty well priced, especially for a sit-down restaurant. And again, presentation was awesome. It was really filling, and I can definitely recommend that as well. So a really fun restaurant over here at Atlantic. Any last thoughts, Nicole?
I think overall, I would just say if you are looking for a good salmon dish, this is like the best salmon I have had in a very, very, very long time. Highly recommend. Every part of that dish was great, and I feel like I am one to always change something out, whether it's a side or a vegetable or a sauce, and like this was just perfect as is. So if you like fish, specifically salmon, and if you're willing to spend a little bit more here while at Epic, I think you will enjoy this dish very, very much.
And there you go. That is our review of Atlantic here at Epic Universe. Again, now we have reviewed both of the full service sit-down restaurants here at Epic Universe. And again, I have liked both of them, and I cannot wait to go back to try them. I am so excited to try them in the evening. We've done both of them for like lunch in the afternoon. I want to go at nighttime, experience those night vibes. I think it is going to hit just a little bit different. Again, beautiful views. I think Atlantic takes the cake when it comes to views, to be honest, over Blue Dragon. But again, you're looking out into the park, you have the fountains and everything. Definitely some beautiful, beautiful views here over at Atlantic. Now again, if you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. It helps out a ton. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you again for hanging out with us here at Atlantic. And thank you guys so much for being here.